Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Dee. About to react to this video. This is regarding the Nolan Wells situation. I have seen a couple headlines about this situation. Very sad. And I know they are currently investigating to see what happened to him. The conditions definitely seem very suspicious. But there is an update, apparently. It says mystery video in Nolan Wells investigation. So they found a mysterious video. Let's see what they have to say. Let's watch.
This does not smell right. One of them is telling the truth. One of them is not.
None of them.
We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home.
Reverend Al Sharpton and attorney Ben Crump standing with the family of Nolan Wells.
If you don't know what happened, I mean, this is very viral. I'm sure most of you do, but from my understanding, he went on a boat excursion of some sort with some friends, and they came back and he didn't, and his body was found in the water. So yeah, we're trying to figure out what happened, but it's like, what is there to figure out? If everybody came back except him, like, y'all clearly know what happened to him. Did y'all push him overboard? What occurred, you know? But yeah, that's the situation. From my understanding, I don't have all the details.
Demanding a full investigation into the death of the 18-year-old college football player whose body was found on Mississippi's Horn Island. As the family awaits the results of an independent autopsy, new questions are being raised about what really happened to Nolan Wells. Welcome to Sidebar.
Right, because they need to find out if he before he was thrown overboard or fell or whatever they're claiming happened, or if he died from drowning. Because if he died before, you know, he even hit the water, then it's like, okay, it's clear that he was.
Presented by Law and Crime, I'm Jesse Weber. Big update in the Nolan Wells story. This is something we've been following. There is a major press conference that was just held. And this is the story of that 18-year-old Southwest Mississippi Community College football player, graduate of Ocean Springs High, who disappeared while boating with friends on Horn Island. This is right off the coast of Mississippi. It's back on the July 4th weekend. We know that his body was tragically found that Monday on the island, washed ashore. His family is demanding transparency. They're demanding a full investigation. In fact, Christine and Elmore Wansley told Good Morning America, GMA, in an interview today, we just want honesty and transparency. We want a thorough investigation. We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else. And that's it. We just want answers. And they have even retained prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump. We did a sidebar yesterday explaining why they would want to hire a lawyer at this time. It's about ensuring that they get the information they're seeking, potentially assessing a legal issue for a lawsuit, pressuring authorities to be transparent about the investigation, ordering an independent autopsy.
Yeah,
in fact, Ben Crump told ABC News Live this week that Nolan's body would be flown to Washington, D.C. for an independent autopsy. This came after the Mississippi State Medical Examiner already apparently performed an autopsy, but that agency indicated that the results could take weeks because of toxicology tests. Those findings are pending. Now, there is something to keep in mind here. Authorities reportedly believe this was a tragic accident, that this was a case of drowning. According to the New York Post, John Ledbetter, the Jackson County Sheriff, said there's no information that we have right now that would lead us to believe that a crime has occurred. According to CNN, Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lynn indicated there were no immediate signs of physical injury. But this is a story that has gotten a lot of attention. It has sparked many thoughts, many theories, particularly given what we're learning. For instance, according to CNN, Nolan didn't return to the dock with his friends that day. His family didn't understand why he would separate from them. That he was supposed to take a different boat back, but didn't. That Nolan apparently didn't have his cell phone with him, that there were reports of an alleged altercation that day. We know the Jackson County Sheriff's Office is reportedly still investigating all this. But according to the sheriff, one of Nolan's friends contacted the Coast Guard on the night of July 4th at around 11 p.m. Nolan's mom apparently called the sheriff's office leading into July 5th, and the family has concerns about, for example, why Nolan would stay without friends. Christine telling GMA, quote, that we cannot answer. I can't fathom why he would. Elmore saying, we always told him, if you go with a group, you stay with a group. There's also this. Christine apparently told GMA that they tracked Nolan's phone using the Life 360 app. They were able to get his phone through his friends, and she claims that some texts and messages were deleted. And apparently it was actually specifically in reference to Snapchat. Now, one of the things that authorities are apparently looking for and asking for are unedited photos and videos that were taken on July 4th. Sheriff Ledbetter telling outlet WXXV, right now, I know time is of the essence, but folks want answers 10 minutes ago, and unfortunately, that takes time to get the accurate information. It's going to take a lot of hard work. I think the family deserves the truth, and that's what we're here to provide for them and for the public. The sheriff adding, according to WAPT, I would urge anyone that has information or that was on the island to take down as much information as they can to piece together what happened. I say all that to tell you what happened today. There's a grieving family. They have a lot of questions. They want answers. What happened today? Major press conference was held in Harlem. You had the family, their attorney Ben Crump, and Reverend Al Sharpton, all demanding the same things: transparency, answers, and the truth about what happened to Nolan Wells. So if you've been following this, you know there's been a lot of anticipation to this. We were expecting the family to potentially...
I love how everybody's stepping in to help this family, period. I also saw this headline. I don't know how true it is, but people were saying that Tyler Perry is stepping in to help as well. I think he covered the funeral costs and maybe some other things as well. So I appreciate that people are putting pressure on this situation and trying to help.
Announced the results of that independent autopsy that was conducted. And again, this is separate from the state's medical examination. So it seems by all accounts, Nolan's body was flown to Washington, D.C. Now, we didn't get the results of that independent autopsy because there was reporting that we may get those today, but we did get something. Maybe not what everyone expected, but Reverend Al Sharpton kicked things off, and he was getting straight to the point.
What we've been told does not make sense. And being that there is lack of confidence in the local authorities, who have already, in my judgment, seemed to have mishandled where it was going, because to just immediately, before a week time, saying there was nothing done wrong, when we hear that this young man was engaged in some kind of argument that was on tape, that his cell phone and keys ended up with one of the people that were there on the island and got away.
Now we go to Ben Crump, and he claims the stories about what happened to Nolan just doesn't match.
The glaring contradictions just jump out at you. The fact that he is there with his friends, and you look at all the videos, it seems to be he's the only black on the island, or maybe one other, but not many. And so, Jared, you have where a young woman he was talking to says that, well, Nolan said he was going back to get on the boat with the boys. The boys say that Nolan told them he was going to stay and talk to the young woman.
Different story.
It's a contradiction. They're not saying the same thing. One of them is telling the truth, one of them is not. And then the fact, Reverend Al, that they have this video of an argument that is going on, and you know, thank God all young people, they have cell phones, and anytime you hear people raising their voice, they start the video. And so you hear on the video Nolan saying, "Give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing?" And that becomes even more relevant when you think about the story that they are presenting, that Nolan chose to stay behind. That's what they're saying.
And he also brought up something that makes you stop and think. Nolan's phone.
His phone? He wouldn't take that with him if he's going to stay behind on the island? I mean, we're talking about an 18-year-old kid. What teenager would leave their phone behind if they're going to stay on this island? What teenager wouldn't take their phone? And so it's not adding up. It's
The
not
math
adding
ain't
up at
mathing.
all. The fact, as Reverend Al said, you know, they didn't take his phone with them. His mother, when she finds out that her baby is missing, they start trying to track the phone. The GPS the phone, they use Life 360, and they discover that, well, the phone is on land. The phone is on land, but you're saying he went missing on the island. And so it's not adding up.
From there, we heard from Christine, Nolan's mom, talked about what happened when she finally got her hands on that phone.
So when we made it home, my sister and I actually went through Nolan's cell phone, particularly Snapchat, because that is so popular with the children. And when we opened it up, there was nothing. There were no saved pictures. There were no snaps from that day. And we did open it before the 24-hour expiration. So we found that very concerning, only because anyone who's ever been around Nolan will tell you at social gatherings, he's taking videos, he's taking pictures, he's even come up to me when I'm getting ready to go to bed, hey mom, come on, take a picture of me. You know, like he's just, that was Nolan. So that's why we feel that things may have been deleted. And here's one of the biggest questions of all. More than 200 people were reportedly on that island, boats everywhere. Anyone see anything?
This notion that, well, he drowned, y'all have, I'm sure, seen all the videos out there. I mean, if he's drowning, nobody sees him drown, nobody offers assistance, nobody tries to help him. I mean, obviously, he stands out. I think the only black person I saw when I'm looking at the videos.
And my thing is, let's say he fell overboard or something. I would think with all these niggas around him, somebody would try to save him. Oh shit, he's struggling to get back on. Let's throw him, you know, the little lifesaver or whatever. Let's jump in and try to pull him in. If he's struggling to get back on the boat, like I'm confused. Like they said, it's just too many suspicious things taking place within this case.
And if you see him drowning, you mean nobody is going to try to help him?
Yeah, that don't
It's not adding up. It is not adding up. And that's why the family, at their behest, we had an independent autopsy being performed. And we thank Colin Kaepernick for helping to pay for that independent autopsy. And we thank Tyler Perry for helping to pay for the funeral. Because as Reverend Al said, these were just regular parents going about their life. They weren't expecting any of this. And then we're having to try to hire all these experts to be able to go and see if they can retrieve deleted messages. We have to have experts. You'll hear from Attorney Park talk about, you know, where the body was found when it was recovered and how long it took to be recovered.
So despite prior assurances that Crump's team would have the autopsy results as soon as possible, it seems we're still waiting for those. And we're going to keep following this story.
This is really sad, but I do appreciate people stepping in to help this family. I know this is so hard for them. I can only imagine what they're going through. So it is nice that people are trying to help them get answers, because nothing about this sounds right. And the fact that they're trying to sweep this under the rug and be like, oh, there was no foul play already. Y'all are saying that? Like, nah, it seems like something happened and they're not really, you know, doing their job. So I appreciate that people are putting pressure on them. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the situation when they get their answers. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.